Who was Hedy Lamarr? Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler was born in Vienna in 1914 to Jewish parents. She was always interested in tinkering, taking things apart and rebuilding them. She was also extremely beautiful. Her first film, Ecstasy, was very risque, showing close-ups of her face during an erotic scene. Later, her first husband would buy all the copies of this film. He was a jealous man who also happened to be an arms manufacturer supplying the Nazis. While this marriage kept her safe from immediate persecution, she was deeply unhappy. A kept woman, arm candy, and her first husband underestimated her. So much so that she was privy to tactical discussions and meetings with Nazi officials. One night, she disguised herself as a maid, sewed her jewellery into her clothes, and escaped to England. Once there, MGM's Louis B. Mayer scooped her up. He was talent scouting in Europe due to the popularity of the European look. She changed her name to Hedy Lamarr and began her long career with MGM, where she, just like other women of the day, were groomed and maintained by the film studio.
You'd be here forever, wouldn't you? Well, you couldn't hold Mother and you won't hold me.
But I will, Jenny.
No. This isn't the life I was born for. Men like me. And it's the men who have the money in this world.
When a proper man comes along.
You take him walking in the dark and kill him, most likely. I know you don't want any man ever to look at me. But they do.
Hedy was considered the most beautiful woman in Hollywood, and even Disney's Snow White was inspired by her iconic look. While dazzling audiences on the screen, Hedy was reserved and quiet at home. She kept tinkering, working on traffic lights or carbonated drinks tablets. She even improved Howard Hughes' design for the fastest airplane. When she heard about a ship of refugee children being torpedoed by Germans, she was driven to make a change. What did she do? Working with the musician George Antheil, Hedy developed a frequency hopping signal that prevented Allied communication radios from being blocked. She submitted a patent, but it was filed away and ignored until years later. Hedy had created one of the most important pieces of technology in our modern life. Her work was used to create Bluetooth, GPS, and Wi-Fi. Hedy died in the year 2000 in Florida, aged 85, and her remains were eventually returned to Vienna. How do the earrings reflect her? The inspiration for these earrings came from her iconic star-studded costume she wore when playing an aspiring starlet in Ziegfeld Girl, alongside Lana Turner and Judy Garland. It seems fitting to have a pair of beautiful and glamorous earrings for this radiant, beautiful and smart woman.